He's slower and not nearly as athletic as they used to be, and thus not nearly as athletic as the other players out here, and that's pretty universally known and recognized when he's on the court. So let's talk about general guidelines that older players can use to help them have the most effective game out here they can still possibly have. The most obvious place to start with older players is probably addressing their physicality, or lack thereof. That's the most distinguishing aspect of what makes us the older player, is our physical appearance and ability, or lack thereof. Since you're not able to be as athletic as you used to be, and not nearly as athletic as the younger players that you're probably surrounded by, how do you deal with that? This is when it's probably more important than ever to embrace your strengths, know them, be aware of them, and minimize your weaknesses as much as possible. Now, I know that's an obvious answer to that, but think about it like this. Think about it in terms of evolution, evolving as a basketball player, right? So now, in general, and of course there are exceptions to this, but in general, older players are not fast, they're not quick, they're not agile anymore. We can't keep up with them in terms of speed and quickness, but we should be much stronger and more powerful than them. And when it comes to power, strength, muscularity, size, that usually shines more down towards the basket as opposed to being out by the three-point line. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, well, playing around the basket, that's not my game, or that's not what I do, right? My entire career, I've been known as a perimeter guard, like a speed kind of player. And really the bottom line is, you either evolve as a player, change your game to what suits your physicality the best and the most, or you kind of just give up and stop playing. Secondly, when we're talking about playing towards your strengths, a strength that you have that younger players don't have, can't have, is your experience. Because there's a difference between skill and experience. Even the most hardcore, serious, studied younger players who study the game relentlessly, take it very seriously, are students of the game, they may be very well skilled, but because they're so young and you have 10 plus years of experience on them, their skill cannot replace your experience. With your experience should become the evolution of strategy, and that strategy should revolve around your physicality, trying to compensate for your lack of athleticism. What I mean is, you need to know yourself, know your game, and strategize how you play so that you still are the most effective player you possibly can be, while at the same time using as little energy as possible. Not effort. There's a difference between effort and energy as well. What I'm talking about is, you don't want to burn out your body, your physical presence on the court early in the game. You want to save yourself physically for the end of the game, where you can make the most difference.